Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Giga, and today we are doing another installment of my cardboard series. A series where I take some leftover cardboard, generally from some package I got in the recent past, or maybe something I ate. Recently it's been a lot of ordered books. And I take that cardboard and I paint something on it. I paint some fan art from a show or a movie that I recently watched. And on today's episode, which you might have noticed from the thumbnail or even by the sketch that I already made before I started the video, we are painting Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. I just finished watching the last season of Demon Slayer, and oh boy was it good. But before I tell you why I decided to paint Zenitsu and not one of the main characters, let me tell you a little bit about the show in case you haven't watched it. So Demon Slayer is a Japanese anime, and it's set in a universe where there are demons, as you could imagine by the name. And demons are in a lot of ways kind of like traditional vampires, where they want to eat and kill humans, and that they can turn people into other demons. Now, the other side of the coin of the demons are the demon slayers, which are highly skilled, highly trained humans who fight to kill and end demons. There's this organization called the Demon Slayer Corp, which basically encompasses all of them. The main character of this show is this boy called Tanjiro, which, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing all of these Japanese names. I don't speak Japanese. But there's this main boy called Tanjiro who has a sister called Nezuko who got turned into a demon. She's a special kind of demon where she kind of retained some of her human qualities and she's not trying to kill everybody, but she's still a demon. And he runs into a demon slayer and decides to make it his life's mission to turn his sister back into a human. So he trains a lot, he joins the Demon Slayer Corp, and he meets some other new recruits, Inosuke and Zenitsu, which is the one we're painting today. Another cool thing about this Demon Slayers is the way they fight. They fight through something called breathing forms, and it basically means that they control some natural elements. There's water, there's fire, there's wind, and the specific guy that we're painting, he has thunder breathing, which basically means he controls lightning and stuff like that, which looks kind of cool in a painting, that's what I thought, and that's why I decided to paint this one. The other reason I decided to paint this one is because his personality is just hilarious to me. He basically is a coward, or he acts like one. He's always screaming in terror, running around, fumbling. But then when he falls asleep, and his nerves just kind of get out of the way, he starts sleepwalking, basically sleep fighting. And he unleashes his full potential and his full strength, and he's kind of badass. The final reason why I decided to paint him, other than the fact that he's hilarious and that he controls thunder, is that I like his color scheme. His hair and his clothes are all very yellow and orangey, which is also kind of complementary with the blue and the thunder, so I thought that was going to look good in a painting. So that's basically why I decided to paint him, and that's the reason we're painting him with his eyes closed, because he's mid-fighting, which means he is asleep. But now that we got the reasons why I'm painting him out of the way, let's talk a little about this painting process. Depending on the surface I'm painting, if it's stained or not, or if it's a nice warm cardboard color like this time, I switch between giving all of the different elements of the painting a first pass, so I can see them all evolve as a whole, and what I did this time, which is to fully render the separate parts in turn. I started with the skin, then moved on to the kimono, then the katana, and so on and so forth. For each area, I pre-mix some midtones that I'm gonna need for example, for the skin, I mix two, one for the light side and one for the skin in the shade. And then as I go, I mix smaller amounts, either using a combination of those two midtones for transitions between them, or adding some other color in case I need something a little different. Like, for example, adding a little magenta to the light skin tone to get something a little redder to use for the cheeks and the nose. For the kimono, the process was very similar. I mixed a light and a dark yellow, and a light and a dark orange, and then just combination of those two for the transitions. Now, an interesting part of this painting, which I think is kind of cool, is if you notice the little triangles and the cord in the katana handle, those in real life are white. But here, I painted them gray, even the ones that are in the light. And this is because I want the brightest thing in this painting to be the lightning that's going to be coming out of the sword as Zenitsu unsheathes it. I think that's how you say it, unsheathes it? I don't know the technical term of taking the sword out of the protection. And so because I want the lightning to be the focus, everything else that's white is becoming a little darker. And the lightning itself is going to be the only place where I'm going to use pure white when I eventually get there. And now the only thing missing is the lightning. So I mixed some cerulean blue with some white to do my favorite part in every painting, adding those little highlights. They make such a difference and they make everything look so much better because the light is just going to be bouncing everywhere. So we add little highlights to the clothes, to the hair, to his nose, even the little eyelashes, to the hand, and then we move on to painting the actual lightning, which I started with a color that was a little bit too light. I basically used the same that I used for the highlights in his face and his clothes and his hand, but then I thought that's gonna be a little bit too bright and it's not gonna be contrasty enough with a pure titanium white. So after I finish this first round, I'm gonna go over it again with basically pure cerulean blue or close to that, and then after the pure white to give it a little bit more contrast. So now we're going back again with almost pure cerulean blue, but not really. There's still a little bit of white missing. This part is a little bit more cerulean blue. And now we move on to the white. And while I was doing this, I was thinking I wanted to outline the thunder, but I was very unsure if I should. Let me know in the comments if you think I should have stopped here, because I wasn't sure what to do and then I decided to outline it. So originally I was only gonna outline the thunder, which is what I'm doing now. But then the black of the outline of the thunder was too contrasty with the darkest part of the Zenitsu painting that I had to outline him as well. But instead of using a brush pen, I used the same brush pen for the outside of Zenitsu, and then I used a fine liner to outline the inside of the character. Like right now, I think I used a 0.1 for the inside for him, like for the hands, for the hair, which is going to be doing in a little bit. And then for the little cord on the katana handle, I used a 0.05, which is I think the thinnest I have. And I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm generally very afraid of outlining anything because I either get lazy and start outlining a little bit too fast and then I miss some things and it just looks bad and I'm regretting outlining things. But in this case, I'm happy. Like for example, here in the nose, I took my time, I thought about it, and I didn't outline the whole nose. I just made little nostrils and gave him the little like dimple under the lip, and I think it came out cool. So now we switch to the ultra fine liner and we're getting closer to the end. So before I show you the finished painting, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.